Hey guys, what is going on? A little bit of a different video. In the part that you would be seeing technically next, I did the cam rocker and lifters. Currently in the process of doing the eccentric shaft and a few other things. Ran into a couple small problems with the timing chain guide for whatever reason. It came out of my car originally. The chain's in good shape, so I'm just gonna reuse it, but it's not going around the sprockets. I'm kind of fiddling with it a little. So I'm putting this particular part of the build on hold. Just for the time being, you might see this video first. If anything, I'll put like an editor note in the video of the head assembly. This video is gonna be going over the Big Boost kit. I already have the turbo and the manifold installed because I was a little impatient, but I have the rest of the kit. I'm gonna run you through how I got the manifold on and the turbo on, and then I'm gonna run you through doing all the hoses and everything and just kind of go over the kit in general. I did an unboxing of the kit. I wasn't really too fond of how that video came out. I believe I said that in the other video of the head assembly, because I think I mentioned the Big Boost kit in there as well. But let's get this kit on. Get most of it buttoned up. We're not going to do everything in like the coolant hoses that go to the water pump and stuff because it's not connected to the motor yet, but we're at least going to get the feed lines on, the downpipe connected, kind of all the preliminary stuff, and then I'm going to run you guys through how to do it. So let's get into it. Okay, so first things first I want to go over is just the turbo and the manifold itself. Now that it's on the car, I feel like it's a little easier to see. So this manifold is relatively heavy. There are some lighter options. The biggest reason I feel like, I've posted about this Big Boost kit. If you follow my TikTok, it's going to be the same as my YouTube where I post actually a lot about this car. It's more of my car account, so to speak. The main reason I went with this Big Boost kit is obviously you have other brands like Speed Tech and things that are really proven. Everyone knows about their kits. This Big Boost kit, or the company Big Boost, to my knowledge, they've been around for a really long time. I don't really see a lot of posts about them now. Most of the content I see about these cars that run these kits are from like 3 years ago minimum. So I wanted to, and I follow a couple of people that actively run this kit, including my tuner that I'm going with, Jimmy Pneumatic. He has a couple records for the N55 platform, and that's who I'm going to be going with. He runs a Big Boost kit on his personal car. He seems to like it, although he did have to kind of like custom fab a couple things for the kit to work, which I believe I'm going to have to also. But like I said, I'm going to go over the kit. The turbo doesn't come clocked like this. You do have to take it apart. I believe it was 13 mil bolts with these little brackets. There's 6 in total. And once you do that, this housing will come off. You just have to clock it to this orientation because your outlet pipe, the way it's structured, which I'll show you now that I have it fully assembled, your external wastegate will sit right here, or the block off plate if you're not running it. I'm going to be running an external wastegate, which does also come with a dump tube. It's going to come out and down. We're also going to connect the down pipe to the back. And then we're going to have to run a return, feed, and coolant line. I used OEM hardware, T45 nuts with studs obviously in them. And then I'm running the OEM gaskets that you would on the inside of the manifold. Something to note, these two holes, you can kind of see them. You don't want, or you're not really able to use them with the placement of the external wastegate on the manifold. I do have the rest torqued down in the proper sequence. I'll put it up here on screen. And from what I looked into, some of the other kits kind of do that as well, where maybe the external wastegate gets in the way of a bolt or two. It's not the end of the world. As long as it's tightened down in the proper sequence, you should be okay. Wastegate is just on now. There is a longer bolt, which is going to be this one. There's a slightly shorter bolt version of this. I use the shorter bolts to hold the actual wastegate down. It is kind of a pain to get those on because the design, for whatever reason, they rub up on the groove here, like the actual logo, because it's as you can see, it's like a raised piece. It's not like in the actual like cast, or it's part of the cast, but it's a raised part of the cast. So I use, if you happen to have similar to this, a little ratcheting tool like this. The first couple rotations I kind of did at an angle, but I had enough seated that I was able to get it turned. After a point, as you can see, the clearance is really tight, but it does fit in there, and you just ratchet it tight. All right, guys, I'm back. If it looks like I fought a war, it's because I did. A little bit of a rant. So the Big Boost kit uses a Turbo Smart external wastegate. For whatever reason, the way they design it, I'm going to show you guys in a moment, they design it where you can't tighten the nuts for the wastegate dumb while the wastegate's bolted on. So these bolts here, as you can see, I have a nut holding on this back one. But then on this one, the design of it, you can't even do it. So what I had to do was I had to angle grind some of the bolt off. It's still threaded in. It's still not going nowhere. But just keep that in mind. I had to shave this one down a little bit too because it just didn't want to sit properly. I don't know why it's designed like that. I thought it was kind of dumb. Little beware. Obviously, there could be other kits with stupid things like that as well. But I just think that's a pretty dumb design. I did just test fit my valve cover to make sure that these little prongs for vacuum lines will fit. It does work. I have an aluminum valve cover that I'm going to put on. I deleted the PCV on it, so I don't have to worry about it breaking. But you have actually about half an inch of room. I tried fitting a vacuum line, a relatively thicker vacuum line, and it did go on here pretty good. It does have a little bit of a bend in it, but I'm sure that'll be fine. So just wanted to spread that info. I've been fighting this for probably about an hour and a half at this point, trying to figure out grinding down the bolts and all that stuff. Like I said, I took the compressor housing off. I'm going to do that in a moment. But this is the dump tube on. This is kind of how it'll sit. So I installed the banjo line for the oil feed. They have a handful of different lines. I have majority of them all out. They give you an assortment of different like banjo fittings, things like that. The one thing they don't tell you, which was very frustrating, because obviously, you know, in one of the previous clips you just saw my debacle with the external wastegate, which obviously isn't a Big Boost fault. This is a TurboSmart fault, I guess. I guess a mix between the both, because this is their dump tube from Big Boost. This banjo fitting for the oil feed, as you can see, if I zoom in, the bracket where the OEM T30 bolt would connect in, as you're tightening it, it actually pulls the fitting out of that hole for the oil feed. So I had to take it, I had to put it on my vise, and I had to take a hammer, very lightly obviously, and I just had to tap the bracket to be straight, like the OEM fitting, for it to seat even relatively okay. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can get a better look. Before, the whole top section just popped out. Like the bottom would seat fully, but the top would pop out. So again, like I said before, just a little like buyer beware. I have the intake currently set up just so I can route the outlet pipe, which is this U-shaped pipe. This intake is no particular brand. This is actually all Amazon products, which I could link for you guys if you're interested. The outlet pipe is 2 degrees supposed to sit like this. I might not run this intake setup depending, just because as you can see, they obviously make contact. Hence the reason why I was wrapping this up, because I was hoping to mitigate some vibration just in case. But we're gonna see what happens. I really would like to run this intake setup because I do think it was really nice. And for the metal pipe, the cone and the coupler, it was only, I wanna say about 60 bucks. So it was a pretty cheap option. I'm gonna be running MAF-less on my setup, so I don't have to worry about a MAF sensor, thankfully. So I don't have to do any wire routing. But I just, again, little beware for those looking to buy this kit. All right, guys, wanted to update you. This thing has been fighting me. I'm gonna give you guys a couple, I guess, buyer bewares. And I'm just gonna go over kind of where I'm at. I'm gonna explain how I did it, and then we're gonna go from there. Okay, this is currently where I'm at. Like I said before, oil feed, I had to hammer the bracket to be straight so it could actually work, have it in the top of the turbo. There's a 90-degree flange and a straight flange like this. They're supposed to be the other way around. I accidentally put them the wrong way around. Not like it really matters. This coolant line runs back to the coolant pipe on this bung here. Obviously the coolant pipe would be as if you were to put on an OEM one. It's like a bracket with the pipe. You just put the pipe in first and seat it, and then it's put the bracket on top of that. This fitting here would run to the actual engine block. Remember that we did the epoxy deck, so coolant would obviously feed through, come through here, go into the turbo. Then the other side, like I showed, just goes to the coolant port. Down pipe is on. It's just a V-band clamp. And then the O2 sensors are in, like I showed. This is kind of like so far where I'm at. Hey guys, how's it going? New day. The Big Boost kit is all put together. I'm gonna run you guys through exactly how I ran everything and kind of run you through some of the things I had to do to get it to work. It did require a little bit of custom I guess not really fabrication, but like some custom setting up for some of the hoses and things like that. I'm gonna run you guys through it. Like I said, it is a different day. If you guys are local to the tri-state area, you would know that we were getting like 100-degree days plus back to back for like 4 days straight, and the garage does not have air conditioning. So I just had to rely on fans, and I didn't want to do that. So it's next day. As you can see, it's fully done. I'm gonna run you guys through the full setup. Like I said, let's get into it. So a few things to note. Coolant lines are in. You can kind of see the return line here as well for the oil. The oil return line, I basically took the OEM return line and I cut it, and then I used worm clamps to seat it properly. The coolant lines, you obviously have the one that goes into the epoxy section of the block that I did. That obviously goes in. That bracket required a little bit of hammering as well, just to get it to seat properly. So again, just keep that in mind. If you have a vise, I would recommend having one for this, just so you have something that can hold the brackets in place. Then we have to the water pipe. Again, another worm clamp. I ended up using worm clamps. They give you like almost like a crush fitting. I'm not a huge fan of them, so I just resorted to worm clamps. But that's secure, and then obviously it's just running, as you could see, down and over. I zip tied them just so they don't go anywhere to these other coolant hoses, but those lines are ran. The intake I managed to get seated. It was a little bit of finagling. It is making slight contact here with the outlet pipe, but it's the rubber coupler section. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll keep eyes on it, obviously, as time progresses, but that is how it kind of looks. Give you guys a good side view. That is basically the full setup. I did install the water pump and the thermostat as well, just so I could kind of start routing the coolant hoses. This hose here that comes with the Big Boost kit, this piece typically points upward. Obviously pointing upward would make it make contact with my intake. This goes to, if you have an automatic transmission radiator, you're gonna have, I actually have one. I have my radiator over here. I could show you guys. So you could see the lower radiator hose would go there. You would have this lower connection here. That hose is gonna be what goes into that flange, this flange piece over here. So obviously up top, it would make contact with the intake. It would have nowhere to go. So we're gonna do a slight down route. It's gonna come down like this and then kind of cut. I'm gonna have to make a custom hose for that. And then obviously some of the hoses, or some of the ports where hoses connect, they're a little obstructed. The outlet does have room to move. So I'm gonna lift this out of the way slightly so I can put the lower rad hose on this. And then I forgot what this one goes to the main, I guess, coolant pipe, if that's how you'd want to call it. This fitting right here. And then this is going to go to the reservoir, which would normally sit here, but I'm going to move it over here and then move the power steering as well. I'm going to buy the Precision Raceworks relocation kit. I'll run you guys through how that goes and how to do it once I get those parts. But I just want to run you guys through the turbo kit. As you guys can see, cams and stuff are into, and the cam sprockets. That's for the cylinder head reassembly. I was running into an issue with the sprockets, which I'm going to run you guys through in that video. But you guys are probably going to get this turbo video first, and then you guys are going to get the cylinder head video next. But then after that, it's just timing the motor. And then from there, it's just valve cover, accessories, etc. The valve cover, like I said, I did a PCV delete using the Ross Racing kit. I have my own 10AN fittings as well as lines. So I'm going to show you guys how to do custom routing, because the can that comes with it and the catch can and the bracket, I'm actually going to seat it here because it could sit fine actually here. Obviously the coolant reservoir is what gets in the way. So that's really the main reason I'm moving it over here. Obviously this setup is a bottom out setup, so it's not like you have to make room for a turbo, but with that reservoir not being here, it does open up a good amount of room for the intake, and it does open up a good amount of room for any of the stuff that's kind of right up top that I might have to service. But this is the Big Boost kit. Sorry it wasn't more of a showing you guys how to actually do the routing. Hopefully by me showing you guys the after, it can give you guys a pretty good idea of how to run these lines. I've heard some good and bad things about the Big Boost kits. You know, I've heard that the guy that owns it, Juan, that he doesn't respond. I heard that, you know, kits come incomplete and stuff like that. I obviously waited a pretty good amount of time. It says up to 15 weeks. I ended up waiting about 17 and a half weeks, and some of which I didn't really get a response. So I did go back and forth with them a little bit. So in that regard, it was a little lackluster. Overall, the kit looks really good. I hope it performs as good as it looks. Like I said in a prior clip, the intake is all Amazon. So that would be the coupler, the tube itself, the aluminum piping, and the cone. I will leave links for that on Amazon in case you guys want to run a similar setup on your bottom mount kit, or even if you have a top mount kit. The only other thing I want to go over, you can see this motor mount here that comes with the kit. It utilizes these mounting positions. There's another bolt up there, and then there's this bolt, and this bolt you could kind of see. This was a little bit of a pain to get to just because of the way the bracket is shaped. I got in there with a wrench, ratcheting wrench, and just tightened it. I was a little confused, obviously, with how the way the bracket is because the clearances obviously look very close. Big Boost ensures that it should sit perfectly. Obviously, your motor isn't supposed to be straight like this. It looks a little goofy, but when it's at such a hard 45-degree angle as they sit, that'll basically sit flat. And then obviously I have the other motor mount on. So we're getting there. Obviously Dorch DS25 high pressure fuel pump. A couple other things we got to do. I got to do the front and rear main seal. We still have to tighten that down fully and do the whole torque procedure for that, which is 100 foot-pounds and 270 degrees. And then, like I said, the cylinder head assembly is going to be the next video. I'm going to run you guys through it. So hope you guys enjoyed. Once I do all the vacuum routing and everything, I might do a separate quick video just going over the actual external wastegate routing and how to do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the series. If you aren't already, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, stay updated with the build. And pretty soon, it'll go in the car. We're almost there. So see you guys in the next one.